Sing me a song of a lass that is gone. Say if that lass be I. Mary of soul, she sailed on a day over the sea to sky. Billows and breeze, islands and seas, mountains of sun and rain. All that was good, all that was fair, all that was me is gay. Gone.
No. All right, that was pretty good, you guys.
Now are you going to do the next verse in French?
Pretty sure that's French.
Welcome to a very special episode of Podlander, Drunkcast, and Outlander Podcast. I am Allison Shoemaker.
I am Julie Starbird.
This is Janine. Say hi, Janine.
Hi.
And we have two special guests for this, our first episode of Dudelander. The much talked of, frequently quoted Neal Starbird. Say hello, Neal.
Hi, everybody.
And the less frequently quoted but occasionally disdained Kevin Lambert.
Hey, everybody.
And we're super excited. We've been talking about doing this episode, basically since we started the season, right, Julie?
Yep.
So we're going to ask some questions and we're going to talk about Outlander Season 2.
I think before we go any further, it should be noted that the two gentlemen in question today are refreshing themselves with the just most disgusting old English.
800.
40s in the plastic bottles and everything.
Shatterproof.
Yeah.
We'll see.
On the other hand, Julie and I are double fisting it with Empirical Brewing's. As always, the only people who paid for this was us, unless Backlog is buying shit for us. But this week, no, we coughed up the dough. Empirical Brewery's Queen's Right honey kolsch.
And it's delicious.
It's very delicious. But we're also, because, it's Dudelander, it's a special occasion, we're also throwing back Miller Lite.
A fine Pilsner beer.
Yeah, and it is fine. Mm-hmm. It is very fine.
I'm taking a sip right now.
So that's what we're drinking.
And it went right down my tits.
Yep. Just
Dudelander.
A quick programming note before we jump in. If you're in the Chicago area, on Thursday, August 18th, which will be this Thursday, by the time you're listening to this. Actually, by the time we're recording it, too. I don't know why I added that. That was useless. We will be doing a live taping of the show at Wizard World.
What?
It's going to be really funny. I guess whatever the official beer of Wizard World is what we'll be drinking.
I hope they have beer there.
Oh, they do.
Okay.
They do.
Is everyone there going to be old enough for that?
I don't know.
This is my first Comic-Con. I've never been to one.
Well, so I have been to both Wizard World and C2E2, both times on the job. So, of course, I was drinking. And I don't remember what I was drinking at Wizard World. But
It was alcohol.
It was beer. But at C2E2, Revolution does their Galaxy Hero IPA is the official beer of...
Yeah.
Well, then I'm not worried because I was nervous that I was going to have to somehow manage to sneak a 6-pack of tall boys in between my boobs on the blue line. So I'm really glad I don't have to do that.
I mean, worst case scenario, if we get there and for some reason there will be. I mean, it's nerds. Nerds!
It is nerds.
There'll be beer. But if
There'll
there's
be
not, it's attached to a hotel and I will go buy beer.
It'll be fine.
We're getting there way before you do.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
it's in the name. They should know.
Yes. Point being, if you're in Chicago or if you have a lot of disposable income and live somewhere else, you should come. It's going to be really fun. It would be great to meet people in person. And you get to see what it looks like when we get drunk at 5:30 in the afternoon and talk to what is probably going to be a mostly empty conference
Yeah,
room.
I'm going to guess like 3 people are going to be there.
But Neal will be there, so no worries.
I'm going to be there.
Neal
When
will
we
be
do
one of
the
them.
Q&A portion, at the very least, Neal will just stand in line and ask question after question after question by himself.
That
I
sounds
want to
great.
throw out there that you might have better attendance if you stop referring to these people as nerds.
Oh, no. I don't know a single nerd that doesn't embrace it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if you're going to a Comic-Con, you got to know.
Listen,
yeah.
geniuses, wonderful people listening to this podcast, come check out Podlander, Drunkcast, and Outlander podcast. C2, no, was it Wizarding World of Harry Potter?
No, God, I wish it was at the Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
Guys, just go to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
It's
Ask them where
actually,
the Outlander exhibit is.
it's actually
Get on the
at
train,
a
it's
convention
great.
center in Rosemont, Illinois, by O'Hare. So
Lovely Rosemont, Illinois.
beautiful Rosemont.
The best our city has to offer.
The best our city
It's
has to
gonna
offer.
be real fun, and you should come. Anyway,
Yes.
so Dudelander, the whole point is we wanted to talk to some gentlemen about a show. We couldn't get any, so we got you guys.
Womp womp.
Ooh,
That's high
sick
praise.
burn, Fergus, she said while pointing at herself. We wanted to talk to some dudes about a show that, rightly or wrongly, and I'm curious about your thoughts on this, is perceived as being a special lady program, as Neal and Julie used to call it when they watched together.
Our special lady program.
Yeah. So before we start talking about season 2, let's real quick. Neal, you had watched the show before we scheduled this here episode, or most of it, right?
So I watched the first half of season 1 when it was on, and then I watched all of season 2 along with Julie and sometimes you, except one episode I think I missed of season 2. And then I've gone back and watched most of the rest of season 1 getting ready for this.
Cool.
Did I answer your question?
Yes, you did.
Okay, great.
Whereas Kevin, talk to me about watching Outlander.
Sure. Can I want to clarify a point that was made in your previous episode. I, for the record, am not a fame whore, as was described.
Oh God, did I really say that?
Yes, you did. My dear friend Allison Shoemaker called me a fame whore, and I'm still here.
Twitter whore, at the very least.
I am a Twitter whore. You can follow me. We'll promote at the end. No, but I was approached by Allison, who I like to call boss, and will heretofore refer to as, to do this Dudelander podcast. But the only way to do it would be to watch season 2. But the only way to watch season 2 would be to watch all of season 1. So in like a couple of weeks, I shotgunned the series.
Like a 40 of Old English.
By the way, I am
Goes down sweet.
really enjoying this 40 of oldie English. And yeah, so I shotgunned all of this. I listened to all of your podcasts where I was besmirched consistently.
A couple of times.
We said that your last name would be a shitty first name.
Right, the show says that, and you seconded it, and I third it, but that's not it. It's the fame whore. It's really
Not going to get over that.
that's a really big bugaboo. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm here.
Yeah. So you watched in over a couple weeks?
Yeah, in a couple of weeks' time, I watched all of season 1 and season 2. And yeah,
Question
listened-
marks at the end of those statements.
Well, because it's the way it's broken up. It's like the first half of season
yeah.
1, the second half of season 1, and then I listened to your podcast. After I would finish an episode, I would shotgun the podcast as well. So
Great.
I'm not at all prepared for this.
Well, for both of you, and obviously the circumstances in which you watched are different, is there any universe where without either a chance to trumpet your online brand or your wife, you would ever have watched this show? Like if Julie hadn't watched it, would you have watched it? And for you, if if you weren't going to be on the podcast.
If I, as a single man, were like, "Ooh, what's on Stars?"
Right.
No, there's no chance I'd ever watch
I
this.
think it would have taken a strong recommendation from some other party to get me to, because for instance, many people have told me that they really like The Time Traveler's Wife, and I have not read that book. So I feel like that's a fair analogy.
Yeah.
Sexist.
Yeah.
I love it.
Totally sexist.
I
Yeah.
love that movie.
Yeah.
There you
I
go.
didn't see the movie, but I love that book.
I
It
went
made
on-
me cry like an asshole.
I went on a date and I cried during it, and I got made fun of so hard.
Ah,
It was a first date.
Janine, that girl's lost.
yeah, bye, bitch.
Kevin shaking his head.
No, I think he's starting to cry.
Kevin, what about you?
No, I would never
In a million years.
Well, no, like in a million years, and if you believe in string theory and the infinite universes, then somewhere, yes, I would probably stumble upon this. But no, this is not a show that I would actively seek out. So no, I probably would never have watched it unless you had not come to me begging me.
Oh, you dick.
We can pull this podcast over right now.
Do I still get to finish the Old English? Nice.
Only you can decide. Oh, God.
And you get to drink it outside on the street.
Where
While you walk to the bus like
in
a
its
normal
natural
person.
habitat.
I look forward to you leaving the empty on the red line.
So that it hits my feet every time the train stops and starts.
You just see it go like,
And there's still some in there, but you're not sure if it's beer or pee.
Is it pee?
Yeah,
Is it
it could be pee. It could be pee.
It's pee.
It's alright. It tastes the same. I'm gonna go back to enjoying this fine Kolsch from Empirical Brewing.
This
while you
craft
guys
beer.
sip on that nonsense.
Craft beer.
There's no sipping. This is just straight up chugging.
I don't know why I keep putting the cap back on.
I don't even.
Yeah, you want to let it breathe like
It's
a
not a
fine,
Sprite. Yeah.
like a fine 40 that it is, Neal.
All right, so before we get into specifics and talk about specific episodes and things, like obviously maybe if Neal had gotten a strong recommendation from someone who doesn't like The Time Traveler's Wife, and if Kevin lived in infinite universes, they would have watched it. But through circumstance and the promise of lots of sex. On television, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I can't speak to Neal and Julie, but Kevin was not promised sex.
I was not promised
Anywhere
sex.
but on television. But there's a lot of sex on this show. Anyway, not this season, though. Womp womp.
Yeah, going back and rewatching the stuff I missed from season 1, I was like, God, there is a lot more sex in season 1 than there is in
Well,
season
they're
2.
newlyweds.
They're newlyweds. They just met each other. It's that, raging time.
They're putting the whammy on.
Ugh. This makes me sad to think about season 2.
That was a little D&D joke for Neal.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I didn't get it.
Anyways, so first question, what did you think? What do you think of the show?
Season 2, right? Are we just
Season 2.
Yeah.
It can sort of be as a whole, but we'll talk about specifics of season 1 the next time we do Dudelander, which you may or may not be invited back to if you're a fame whore who disparages a host's good name.
Well, so since I'm one and done here, I'll let Neal go first.
No, we'll see you in November, Kevin. It's going to be great.
I really like it. I really enjoy watching it. She's really good.
Yeah, she
I
is.
think for the most part. He's fine. A lot of the supporting cast is awesome. The young Patrick Stewart, what's his name?
Pamplemousse?
No.
Oh, Tobias Menzies.
Tobias is the Menzies guy. And the Pamplemousse are both freaking great. And then also, you guys have talked about it a lot, but the set dressing and the costumes with the France thing going on are all really phenomenal because the show's shot so well and they do color so powerfully on the show. And I really generally enjoy it. There's stuff that drives me crazy. I really don't like the voiceovers on this show, but for the most part, I really like it.
So Neal was rewatching part of season 1 today, and I just happened to be there, and it was the episode "The Search" where Jenny and Claire are out, and Jenny milks herself and all that stuff, right?
Jenny Murray for life.
But then it also becomes like Claire in breeches at the end, and you're like, okay, what's happening here? But I did note, after season 2, I don't remember season 2 having as much voiceover as season 1. Am I just like, is that rose-colored glasses? Or
I think it might be less.
Okay.
But Kevin, having watched it all very recently, did you notice if there was more voiceover?
Yeah, as an expert on the subject. Honestly, I wasn't paying attention. Just going to become a recurring answer for
Great.
me.
Can't wait.
No, I feel like there's probably less voiceover in season 2 because it was a more concise story. Instead of spreading it across like the halves of each season, it was just kind of crammed in together. Now, spoiler alert, I've never read the books, nor knew of their existence.
I'm the only one in the room who's read the book.
I don't know if there's more to this season's story, but it seemed like it was pretty complete versus like season 1 had a clear, this is our ending point for the first half. We're coming back for a second half.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it seems like because of the tightness of the storytelling, you did a lot more showing instead of telling.
Mm-hmm.
They compressed season 2 from an adaptation standpoint. They compressed the events of season 2 pretty heavily.
Okay.
Which I think works. But anyway.
And Dominic Pignon. Just got a shout out.
Dominic Pignon. We'll get there. So Kevin, what do you think? We know what Neal thinks of the show overall.
Yeah, for something I would never choose to watch under my own volition. The acting
You might want to say why, and it's not because you're a sexist asshole.
No, it's I am not a fan of period dramas. Most of what I watch on television is live sporting events.
And every episode of Heroes for some reason.
Sometimes you just get into a zone and you're like, I gotta see where these characters will never develop to. Just hold on to that.
That's a sick burn. That's a sick burn. That's an accurate sick burn.
suck.
You got into a groove. The groove became a rut. And
then the cracks in the heart. Yeah.
Delightful.
Oh!
So to answer your question, I mean, it's enjoyable, but it's not something that I would choose to watch. Having said that, I have a slight bit of interest as to where it goes, storytelling-wise, into the third, and I think Starz confirmed they're doing 2 more seasons, 3 more.
They renewed it for 2 seasons at once, but there are, to date, I think it's 7 books. It might be 8 books now. And the series isn't done yet. She's writing another one right now.
Jesus.
So
I just know he comes to the future. I just know that happens.
You watched the pilot episode, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's the ghost dude. Like, clearly that's him. Right? I'm making wild speculations.
Yeah.
But it was a ghost dude.
Callers, call in now. Tell me if I'm wrong. No, I mean, like, there's an interest level now to see where it goes as a storytelling. But I could also accomplish that just by reading, like, a season wrap-up instead of investing the hours of watching the
Yeah,
show.
but then you wouldn't be prepared for Dudelander season 3.
Do we really think I'm getting invited back?
You've already come up with 2 pretty solid jokes, and as should be clear to anyone listening, that's our number 1 priority.
It's true.
Particularly the more we've been drinking.
Yes.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, that nice plastic toast sound.
That's just the worst.
Sorry, guys, can we get can we just get a clean recording of this plastic cheers? Just a clean.
Here, this is plastic on Pilsner beer.
It's the most depressing sound I've ever heard.
Here's a fake one. That's our Foley. Cheers. All right.
Also, I should point out, I loved season 1. A lot of beautiful breasts on display.
There you go. I told you, best sex on television. It is, and it's because they understand that they've got a largely female audience, so it lasts longer.
And one really girthy, flaccid cock, too.
Well, Neal, I see that you were paying attention.
How could you not pay attention to that scene?
That's true.
Yep.
They showed it like 5 times.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah. Kevin's broken. He's down.
Kevin just about fell out of his chair.
All right. But before we start, like at the beginning, and to ask specific questions and all that shit, what in season 2, outside of the production design, which you've already mentioned, and the acting being excellent, which has already been mentioned, what did you love? Like episodes that stuck out, moments that stuck out? I know one specifically of Kevin's. He told Julie and I that he reached a point. Oh no, that's season 1.
That's season 1.
We'll get there. Stay tuned. We'll be back in November with what Kevin loved in season 1. I'm guessing November. I have no idea when this is going to happen.
We never know.
Yeah.
You said it twice now. So
I know. So I guess now it's happening in November. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Girthy, flaccid cock for you and yours.
Do you have the gift receipt?
Yeah, it's tucked under the balls there. Just
Fish around for that.
What in season 2 stood out? Great moments, bad moments, anything particular before we start going?
Kevin, you go.
Right off the bat, a sword to the dick. A sword to the dick is a moment where you stop what you're doing. You touch your wiener and you say, "I'm so happy you're in one piece." That was an awful experience.
Yeah.
Janine, did you touch your wiener during that moment too?
I was with people.
You also didn't watch that episode.
No? Oh, no, I do remember that. Okay, you're right.
We talked about it, and
Sorry.
that was the one where you were like, "What?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, I was with people.
Yeah, we were sitting right there,
Yeah.
and like he would have been like it would have been noticeable.
Although,
Last
if
time.
you ever need to reflexively shield your wang, Julie and I
Don't
will not
mind
be
us.
offended.
No problem.
Yeah, it's fine. So the little stab to the dick, yield dick stab, classic dueling move.
What's that fucking dog's name? Bouton or something?
Bouton.
Dog was pretty cute. You gotta love a bit with a dog, right?
Yeah.
That's what they say. That whole Abby or the nun lady that played the fucking Bach and didn't think he was gonna make it.
What's her first name? And De La Tour.
Frances de la Tour.
Yeah, she was really good. I mean, I don't know. I tend to just focus in on the acting performances that I really like. Story-wise, honestly, the stuff after they got back to Scotland was more interesting to me than the stuff in Paris, which I think set it up. We get to meet Bonnie Prince, douchebag, and really got him inserted into the story. But it's after they get back to Scotland and they're trying desperately to avert the battle at Culloden Moor. That's the stuff that I thought was more gripping drama than the is Dick Fox trying to poison me or is he not? And
So you prefer a more physical Highlander style thing as opposed to the courtier intrigue in Paris.
The intrigue wasn't super heavy on intrigue for me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was, it just wasn't really like.
Stakes didn't feel very high.
It's not like Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy going on in here. You know what I mean? It's just like.
Was it a Le Carre novel? It wasn't good enough for you?
Yeah, I prefer. Well, Julie, I love high adventure.
Yeah, he does. He likes a swashbuckling
Although,
tale.
you know what? Speaking of spy shit and people who are British, you know who's one of the people that's rumored to be a new Bond?
Which one?
Our main man, Sam Heughan.
No way.
He's on the. He's one of the names that gets dropped.
He has a great.
Why couldn't there be a Ginger Bond?
No, it has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with
I think he can carry that.
I don't
that
think
franchise.
he's-
Well, because James Bond requires so much of its actors. Don't get me wrong, Daniel Craig is the tits, but like,
I think
You
over
bite your
the
tongue when you
last-
come to your George Lazenby reference. Bite your tongue.
I don't know. I mean, he also, in my mind, as physically impressive as he is the wrong type of physically impressive. It would be very difficult for him to be incognito anywhere.
Big head.
Because
Is there
he's
a-
very tall.
I would rather that
he's
they
got a big
did
everything.
Tobias.
Menzies. Yes,
Oh,
Tobias
yeah.
Menzies
He would
would
actually
be
be a very
great.
good-
You know who
totally.
I'd be into
Yeah.
as a Bond from this show? If they were like changing up the Bond a little bit. Gilf. Can you imagine like a slightly senior Bond?
Lion and Winter Bond?
Yeah.
Yes,
Bring
that would be
Ooh,
okay.
that would be such a fascinating story.
Yeah.
I'm into that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Because he obviously can still kick ass and take names, but I'm here to kick ass and drink martinis, and I'm
Yeah.
all out of martinis. And then he would just like beat the shit out of somebody and go running in and kill.
Yeah, Huon pulls too many faces for Bond, I think.
All right.
He likes to pull a face, and he's only got 2 of them.
Oh. 3, you're forgetting his O face.
Oh, right.
Yeah, okay, 3.
Fair.
And he has different variations of the O face.
It just wasn't in season 2. That's all.
That's true. They had that pregnancy sex. I stand by that pregnancy sex. Bring it.
All right, are we getting specifics now?
Let's do specific. So why don't we break this up into halves, right? Let's talk about France. Let's talk about the happenings in France. Things that worked, things that didn't, some of the actors, because obviously, but also you should know both of these gentlemen are actors, very fine actors. One of them is a fame whore, but they're both very fine actors.
That is Neal.
So they have insight to offer there, whereas Julie and I are a complete waste of space. True. Just kidding.
Right off the bat, one of the things that was hilarious to me storytelling-wise for the first episode is that they arrive in Paris on the run. And immediately my very lucrative wine business,
Yes.
I actually need to go away for a while. Why don't you just take that over for me, manage it, live in my palatial house in Paris,
yeah.
have my, grand income, and that should all work out for everybody.
Oy.
I was like, wow, that is...
Agreed.
that is a lot.
Wrapped itself up real quick.
I will say there's in our running list of things that Jamie Fraser is good at, there are things in the book that obviously they don't have time to talk about everything. And really in the book, he's good at everything except for singing and not stabbing a dude in the dick.
And
Which is
never
not show
forget.
touch. That's straight from the book. He stabs that dude right in the dick.
Never forget. He's also a weak seaman.
I just got to set you up for the joke, Julie. I can never say it. It's always got to be you.
But he's good at business in the books, you're saying?
No, he's good at business, but he specifically has a really good palate. And it's established
You
in
are
season
shitting
1.
me.
That's
Like,
of course.
Yes.
yeah, like he can smell the differences in wines. He throughout
All the men in the room right now are disgusted.
This is like Green Lantern initially being like, what's your weakness? I don't know, the color yellow? Wood? Like, just this bullshit.
No, that's 2 different Green Lanterns.
So sorry. God, that's garbage.
I've been told that I shouldn't call anybody a nerd, so let's just call that answer colorful.
You can call me a nerd. Don't call the wonderful people who are coming to the wizarding world of Harry Potter this Thursday. Both Orlando and LA. It's showing in both cities.
Somehow we'll be both places at once. Don't ask questions.
They touched the dick rock and they went to both.
Oh my God, Kevin! If there was a dick rock that sent me to Harry Potter world, I would travel in time all the fucking time.
You forget to eat and die of starvation.
Yes, I would. Well, no, because you know what? They have food there. I would live on like plates of fine British fare and mixed grill, and then I would just every once in a while I'd just walk out of the Wizarding World of Harry Potter and stroll down to Springfield, and I'd have a Krusty Burger, and it would be great. I can't wait until we do Podlander, Drunkcast, a Harry Potter podcast.
Oh my God.
And it'll just be me getting hammered and being like, hey, Janine, do I sound okay? And he'll be asleep. It's going to be great. Anyway.
Can I talk about one of,
Yes.
I think, an unheralded. You guys have praised, you had your awards, you've praised a lot of people during the season, but there's one key actor that was completely omitted from everybody's high praise.
And who is that, Kevin?
Episode 1, season 2. Claire comes screaming down a hill, wondering what happened in the Battle of Culloden.
Yes.
And
Yes.
the kindliest man stops his car.
We talked about
He's a very naughty
Yeah, but he did not win an award. And I'm giving him a Lambert, which is a poorly named but well-deserved award.
It's only poorly named if it's your first name.
Yeah, it's just called the Lambert.
Okay, well then the first name is the.
That's an article. No, that guy just standing there while she's screaming, weeping, and then obviously you don't really fully know why she's weeping because she just had kind of really sad sex, which Julie has wept about on the podcast.
Yeah,
Neal, do you
thanks,
listen
Kevin.
to this? Your
Yes.
wife like bared her soul. It was a beautiful moment.
It was a wonderful moment.
Well, thank you. I was fucking hammered.
And then, do we need more guacamole?
That was my favorite.
That was the best
That was
one-liner of the
wonderful.
season.
When I was listening to it later and Janine said, do we need more guacamole?
Also, the line most tweeted to us in the entire season.
I lost it at work. I'm not supposed to be listening to this shit at work, A. Second of all, I just started laughing out loud.
Oh, I'm glad.
Yeah. Good old Janine.
That's so much fun.
It was an emotional day for all of us.
But I want to give this guy. What was? I haven't obviously.
We
seen
just
this.
called him the natty guy. The natty
He would say like motorist or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Guy in a
Scottish
car.
driver.
Yeah.
Yes.
His name is Stephen. Oh, I'm gonna fuck his last name up. Docherty. DOCH.
That's gotta be right.
RTY.
Doherty,
I think it's probably
Doherty.
I think it's probably the CH is silent. I think it's just Doherty, like Stephen
Doherty.
I think
Doherty.
it's probably Doherty.
Can we just call him Dre?
Yes.
Stephen
And you
Dre.
know what? We forgot about Dre, Kevin.
Oh my God! Oh, that universe just presented you that joke. That was so magical.
Yes, I will cheers
Let's
your
get that
OE.
plastic toast sound.
Oh.
I will cheers your OE.
Gross.
That's the worst.
Maybe
Anyway.
instead of a plastic toast sound when we need to toast while you guys are still drinking this bullshit, maybe you just blow right across the top.
Yeah.
Over the top.
Don't do it into the mic.
Not into the mic.
Janine, don't give me lessons on mic etiquette.
Dudelander, you guys, how's it going?
Neal, you're a pro.
Yeah.
So before we continue talking about season 2 in France, I wanna make one point very clear. When Kevin agreed to be on the show, he had several conditions, none of which he has actually enacted. So I want to make sure that he feels free to do this. One was that he be allowed to get confused and call it Highlander at frequent opportunities. The other
Totally forgot about that.
The other was that he's allowed to make up his own nicknames. So
Okay.
Neal has very kindly been using our nicknames, and that's because they're excellent nicknames, so of course he is.
It's true, by the way, your use of Bonnie Prince douchebag earlier was really great.
Yeah, it brought a little tear to my eye. That's not true, but it should have.
So, okay, my nicknames are mostly around season 1 characters because you weren't recording a podcast on season 1. So, of course, I'm going to call him Bronny. You guys,
Keep drinking that oldie.
I'm going to say I'm probably 19 ounces in, and it's a little under half. And yeah, so like BPD, that shit's all established. But I mean, like I have season 1 nicknames. Like,
Okay, well, then
It is
remember
really-
them. Hold on to
No,
it.
because some of them are also season 2. Like you had your own.
yeah, some of them are.
nicknames.
Yes, I have for all the characters that came from season 1 that come back in the second half of our Scotland adventures.
Hit us.
When I talk about them, I will use
Okay,
the
all
appropriate
right, we've
nicknames.
got to be surprised.
Well, then,
We're still talking about our wonderful time in France.
Oh God, I haven't gotten to say anything in my terrible French accent yet.
It's coming.
Okay, great.
I do want to say one of the things that was shown to me, it was an image to get me to watch the show, was from France.
Oh, it was the tit dress.
It was
Pierced nipples.
the pierced nipples, or as Allison just referred, once again, Allison just referred to it as the tit dress.
That's fine. I stand by that.
I also stand by it.
that name.
I stand by it too.
It's a different kind of stand. With
Yeah, but Neal, you and I are
I'm
two.
glad you're pulling me into whatever this is going to be.
Yes, just join me on this bit. Love it.
All right.
Go down this rabbit hole with me. We're two gentlemen of the world. Have you ever experienced a level of constipation that Louis experiences?
Okay, hold on. Let me think about that. It's actually a good question. It's a good
Because
question.
I, for one, I'm a very fibrous man. So I am.
Like, you're
Yeah, I'm mostly fibrous.
and this is actually like not the first time he's ever said that.
you're just like mostly corn cob.
I was going to say, are you producing your own energy through photosynthesis? Is that what you're trying to
He
say?
identifies as a part human bran muffin.
Yep.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And
I will
so
say,
I've never.
I love a good bran muffin, so maybe that explains why I love you.
So, Neal, have you ever been that constipated?
I don't think that constipated. Man, he looks miserable. Right, so miserable. But still too stuck up to eat porridge.
You know
Like, how
what?
can you be that miserable and still turn up your nose to put just some porridge?
We don't know that he doesn't eat the porridge.
He might later.
I mean, he throws some shade out about the suggestion that he would
Sure
eat
he
porridge.
does, but we don't see him trying to take it down. There's
Throws back
no
a pound, some
point
cream
when
of wheat.
he's walking around with his legs spread really wide. He's not like in the garden getting ready to make Blackjack Randall Neal. God damn, I love that scene.
that's a great scene.
And then he's like, hold on. Oh, that's a real pain. That's a real serious pain. That's my intestines just kicking the shit out of me. But seriously, Neal, that doesn't happen. He must have had some porridge.
No, you don't have that moment over Blackjack Randall without having taken a very healthy dump.
You're right.
What have you- so you're saying that you've never been...
I've
never
never been that constipated in my
Yeah,
life.
I don't think I have either. It seems like it's been going on for a while.
I'd like to say that I'm really sorry to both of you that you associate the swan piercing nipple dress with extreme constipation.
I mean, it's kind of a masked pair.
I mean, you showed me an image of that dress ahead of time. I knew it was coming. I did not know that I was going to see a man just really giving it his all to just get one little turd out.
And he has
With
his
like
own
40 people.
With 40
Yeah.
people watching.
question.
Do you think he's trained that hard?
Would you want your own shitting cape?
Well,
He does have a
He has
beautiful
a shitting
shitty
cape.
oh,
Wait, does the cape double as some sort of wiping?
No.
No, it's like he's got a tent over his backside.
It's like it covers the back of the
So
chair.
that nobody can actually see if he poops or not.
No, they look after he's gone. They look into it after he moves away.
I guess it would depend on what the weather was like that
and
day.
it's like,
Yeah, that's fair.
Great answer.
yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because we're talking about airflow, right? I don't know, whether you want it or whether you don't.
So while we're in that episode, which is they go and they meet Louis, it's when the incredibly awesome chess playing financial dude gets pushed into the river and
Monsieur
then
Divanet.
Oh, that's
sick pull.
a hilarious line. What's his line? I've brooded over many a board. Is that what?
Yes,
yeah,
fucking
yes.
And then
Jamie
his wig comes out looking like a Davy Crockett hat, and he puts it back on anyway.
So can
That
I
actor's
pose another
really
question to Neal here?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Neal,
Kevin.
do you have a foot fetish like that guy did?
No. Why are you asking? Are you just
Remember,
Because
because the shoe, like he freaks out when he sees her red shoe, and then Jamie comes along and pushes into the
right? Yeah.
He's all about the foot.
Yeah.
And you just want to know if I also
just I'm
if I
curious.
share that
I'm
with
just
this
curious
character?
if you-
No, I don't.
Okay, that's two of us. Great, we can move on. People in France are weird.
So that episode.
That episode does go a long way to proving that as fact.
Yes. Or maybe they're just more egalitarian, right?
Or maybe they just give
Louise
zero
is there.
fucks.
That's the same episode where Louise gets her public beaver waxing.
Right, yeah. Where the Turk is ripping it out and she's slapping at him. Oh!
Yep.
And she hits him across the face.
And you don't see it, but you find out near the end that Claire got it too.
Her honeypot.
Oh, God, I fucking detest that phrase. I can't.
Just gonna return that Winnie the Pooh out.
It's a red shirt, right? It's just a
Porky
red
picking
shirt.
it down below. That's how it works.
As straight cisgendered men, which would you pick? The red dress, the Claire dress, or
Yeah.
the nipple dress?
Oh, the red dress.
Wait, I'm sorry. Which would I
Well, I guess for what
pick?
occasion?
Yeah, am I picking them to wear?
I mean, it's
or
not
am
for
I-
you to do drag, which, by the way, I would pay a lot of money for.
It would take a lot of money to get out of the
I
room.
do not make a pretty lady.
Seriously. It's
Well,
true.
you have the nicest beard.
Making
ever.
a pretty lady is the smallest piece of drag.
Sorry, I had to remind myself about this nipple dress, which, by the way, easy search term on Google, nipple dress Outlander.
Boom.
Damn, we got it.
Probably
right away.
less than a second.
No, in terms of as red-blooded American males, both dresses are obviously designed to be alluring, and that's the whole point. Because Jamie's all pissed that you could almost see a navel, and then obviously we've got the ye old nibbles just hanging out, just like
Yeah.
and then hanging out, which is more alluring to your male sensibilities.
Red dress.
I mean, I think
Janine.
red dress.
Red
I
dress?
think
He just saw the photo.
There's something about the mystique of not seeing it all, but seeing just
Right.
enough that. But also like
It's
okay,
actually, it's just a better dress.
this is the
That's
first
true.
time. This is the first time we're doing this.
Absolutely.
What is
Both.
beautiful? Just a beautiful woman.
Yes, she is.
And I think mostly I associate that dress with her, and it's like made for her, and she looks amazing in it. So I would probably go red dress.
It's not my favorite thing that like she wears even in that season or even in Paris. I don't think.
What's your favorite
Yeah.
thing?
Well, I'm not sure. I don't know for sure. There was the fucking like I don't know if it's the Dawn episode or the episode where the dick gets stabbed. Those are different episodes, right? No, Dawn is after the dick stab episode.
Dawn
You mean Faith?
Dawn, Faith. Sorry. Yeah.
is the episode after the dick stab.
Yeah. But she's like, there's a purple dress that she has on.
Is it the
doing
cape?
the purple stuff?
Because the three of us, sorry, Kevin, Neal, Julie, and I watched an episode together where she walked out in that cape, and we all went, "Oh!"
Yeah, like that beautiful cake with
well, she had so many great costumes, and the red dress is startling because it's just a solid red dress that she appears in for her first time at court. And there's the whole thing. We talked about whether bringing in contemporary, that whether she was bringing in sensibilities of fashion from her time into having dresses made for her while she was in Paris.
Which she is. She's got that white, it looks like a Chanel suit, the white jacket and the black skirt. Dior, yes.
The bar
with
suit.
the hat,
which made me gasp.
And so I recognize it like the red dress to some extent.
See, Neal kind of can have this conversation. Kevin is at sea right now.
I'm gonna sit this one out.
But you know what I mean? Like the red dress is it's startling because of the presentation, because of it being solid red, and it is like haute couture a little bit, which is cool, but it's not to me the most like. She has other costumes in the first half of season 2 that I think are also beautiful, and I don't know, more
interesting because they're not like one thing.
Yeah, like it's not like one statement and then it's over sort of deal.
Do you have a favorite costume from the first half of season 2? It doesn't have to be a Claire costume.
I mean, honestly, that scene where the fucking king makes Blackjack, his little
makes him kneel.
Yeah, makes him kneel. The king's got that bright red and fucking military style outfit that's teased in the opening credits so much, and just the photography just makes the color pop against the green lawn and everything. Like I like that one a lot. Do you have a favorite costume from France? I know it's not your bag, Kevin, but...
No, I do not.
You know what? I've been thinking about it a lot recently because this is what I do in my free time. But I think my favorite costume from the first half of season 2 is Monsieur Raymond's vest.
Oh, God, with the eye on it?
The apothecary coat.
Yeah, that's cool. That's very cool.
What about you, Julie?
I think... it would be a toss-up. It would be a tie between the bar suit the first time we see her, where she's got the white jacket and the hat, and the platter hat, or the outfit that she's wearing in the garden with the brown
that beautiful print.
Hell yes.
Those were probably my two favorites.
So that same scene, you get her in that dress and the king and the thing. And
King's drag was also
King's
really
drag's good. And even
Blackjack always look real good.
And even Blackjack is even dressed up like in military formal wear or something, right?
Yeah,
so he's looking good.
Military
and
costume.
Jamie's doing that thing, which Jamie's stuff isn't as interesting in Paris, but it's interesting that he's always like, he's got like the Paris style fashion stuff going on a little bit, but the kilt's always going.
Yeah, he's always
and that's always like a little bit interesting.
And he never wears a wig.
Yeah, he never wears a wig.
He and Myrta don't wear wigs, and fucking everybody else does. Although I guess Blackjack doesn't either.
Wigs are the worst.
Look, when you have a beautiful full head of hair, as a man that has a beautiful full head of hair, you don't hide it under a wig or a hat
or a bushel.
God, man, I really did not expect to come in here and talk this much about dresses. Even though I listened to the show, I don't know why I thought that would happen.
You had to expect.
Yeah, all right.
I expected it. I did not prepare for it.
One of Outlander's very few nominations for an Emmy, and the one it's most likely to win is costume design. So,
When are the Emmys?
September 18th. And the only reason I know that, true statement, is because we just scheduled the next meeting of the Jane Austen book club I'm in, and the only other thing on my calendar for the day we scheduled it was the Emmys. So, which I have to watch for my fucking job. Doesn't mean I'm not going to drink while I'm doing it, though. I think that if we've learned anything in this episode, it's that I'm apparently willing to openly acknowledge that while working, I drink. But only if it's TV working.
Yep.
Guys, if that's not a convincing CV, I don't know what is. Alison Shoemaker, hire her.
All right, so we talked a little bit about costumes, a little bit about France in
costumes.
general. Here's a question.
Okay.
If you can boil it down to your favorite scene in Paris.
I think it's the king making Blackjack.
That's your favorite?
It's so strong.
Mm-hmm. All right, Kevin?
Mine would be the stonecutter scene where I just made a deep cut Simpsons reference to nothing but blank
No.
stares.
In the back, in the horoscope room?
In the horoscope room where it's like, you have to pick one of these dudes to die. And you got a couple of stonecutters in the background. You got Louis in the foreground. No, you know what? It's the scene right after that where he just does 2 pumps and he goes, "I'm done with you." Because that's the way it should be.
Oh,
Find me on Tinder.
No wonder you would have never watched this show.
No, it's the stonecutter scene beforehand because Monsieur Raymond.
Monsieur Raymond.
Oh, thank you. I got to finally say it.
I didn't say that correctly. He's
Dominic Pignon.
he's great in that, but it also kills Dick Fox, which, by the by, this world needs less men that look that beautiful. So, like, get him out of here.
Right. Him today, Eric Repair tomorrow. Like we're
Let's
killing them
even
all.
the playing field.
Yeah.
Guys like me and Janine.
Wait! Hey!
I just, for our listeners, I want to make it clear that Janine is a very handsome fellow.
Thank you.
Janine, you are a very handsome fellow.
Oh my God! Is this compliment Janine time, or are we talking about Outlander?
Kevin, I don't know if you know this, but he's our producer.
All right, so wait.
Okay.
Here's another question about France times.
No, we didn't. Oh, no, you did answer your best
Yeah.
scene. Do you have a best scene, Julie, real quick?
I really liked the stonecutter scene too.
Me too.
Here's a question about France for you guys. When the magic came in, when Monsieur Raymond came in and he's all blue, how did you feel about that?
Wait, when he's all blue?
Yeah,
When
you need
she-
to elaborate on this.
Healing from the miscarriage scene.
When
he
Monsieur
sneaks
Raymond
in.
appears and
In
all of a sudden
Faith,
does
probably
magic
the best
fucking...
episode of the season.
Oh, when he does Reiki, yeah.
Yeah, he Reikis the placenta right on out of her. Mm-hmm. Like, what were your
I'm sorry,
thoughts?
he sticks his hand up in her. That's not Reiki.
No.
That's Reiki.
Oh, God, trim those nails.
I wish you all could have seen the gesture that just happened.
If you want to visualize it, take your hand
No. Pretend you got an upside down bonsai garden and tend it.
and then just pull it towards you several times in a very aggressive fashion,
Yeah,
and that's
fingernails
what we
pointed
all had
towards
to
you.
witness.
Yeah.
Janine, ladies and gentlemen,
know-
Cataligo Productions.
I don't know why in particular you're asking that question, but I can tell you that for me, when I watched that scene, it was just more of the is he or isn't he? Is Monsieur Raymond another time traveler? What the deal?
That was
But I also, I mean, it is not knowing what's going on in that scene. There's the dick rocks and there's the poison necklace of poison detection that she's got.
Okay, D&D.
Are the only like two occasions that I think are in the show of this is definitely magic that I'm witnessing. Right? Magic happens in the world of this show because we've got the dick rocks and we've got the necklace of poison detection. Perhaps even a periaptive poison detection.
Oh my God! Stop talking nerd talk.
Right, and so then the question is what happens?
Is it a +3 magic item?
Right, is what happens with her placenta infection or whatever the fuck that thing is? Is that?
I mean, we don't really know, but
Is that?
No, I mean she's gonna go into sepsis because
Yeah,
she
is
has a
Is
foreign
that meant
body.
to be the third occasion of magic? Because am I right that it's only the necklace and the rocks are the only magic that have actually
Yes.
for sure happened, right?
The magic that brings Claire and Jamie together.
Well, the magic
And
of love.
that magic of love.
Yeah.
Also magic.
Oh, sorry, Stephanie.
Kevin, I'll fucking murder you.
You guys, that's a walk off. I'll see you later.
I'll tell you this: whether that's magic or not is something that's not really clear in the books. There's information that comes out later that suggests specifically like geological shit that could be partially responsible. It's covered.
What?
Yeah. It's covered.
I'm just gonna pretend I didn't even hear that because I'll be gone for the rest of the podcast.
I mean, like,
That's
clearly
something
it's
about
not
that.
actually real, but
Yeah.
It's like saying the force is caused by midi-chlorians. Like, you just shit on everybody in this
who's
room.
a fine listener of the podcast who should attend Wizard World Chicago this Thursday night.
we have.
How's that OE going down?
I'm not going to say
God, it's
anything
sweet.
about events or actors that may or may not be returning, but I will say that the show is now at the same place in the books in terms of evidence that we have about whether or not Monsieur Raymond is a time traveler.
Okay.
And I will also say that Claire believes that he is, and that's more explicit in the books.
Yeah.
That she has a sense about it early, and then that happens, and it feels to her physically like somehow it's the same kind of
Okay.
phenomena.
Okay.
which Jamie does not have. So to your point about whether or not Jamie goes to the future, we know, and we'll talk about this when we talk about the second half of the season, but we know that Brianna and Roger can like hear and feel the stones.
The buzzing.
And Jamie cannot.
But you expressed that was because of lineage?
That it might be,
Genetic,
it might be genetic. Because
Look who listens to the podcast.
Kevin.
well, because Roger is the get of the witch Galus. God, I can't wait to talk about Galus some more.
But so that is what's interesting me about that moment is because he's the one that gives her the necklace, which is a magic item. To what extent is he a magical
now
individual?
I just want to play an Outlander D&D campaign.
but you know what I mean. So
Kevin's about to.
So to what extent is he magic? Is he an actual?
That's not because of the OE.
You know, magic. I don't know, magical operative, purveyor of magic, wizard.
All right, wizard.
Also,
I vote wizard.
Also, actually reads the future. That's a real thing, right? Like he tosses the bones about Frank and.
Well,
like,
I was unclear about
that's
whether that was a
also-
time travel thing or
Also,
not.
that might be like a easy guess thing too, though. But obviously, Monsieur Raymond is a little bit more on point.
Is there anything else that either of you find not actually gentlemen want to say about the first half of season 2, about our Paris shit?
I have a nope.
Favorite episode? What's your favorite episode in the Paris chunk?
Who the hell knows what they're called?
know.
Do you don't need to
Tell
name
us
it? You
what's in it.
just tell me what happens.
The one where the thing happens and they all do the other things. No, I want to talk about a really great moment in the Paris stuff.
Okay.
Which happens in Faith, the known name of an episode. The fight between...
And her heart grew 3 sizes that day.
I'm about to rip it out. No, the fight between Claire and Jamie once Jamie is released from prison from dueling a man's dick off.
Not just from prison. From the Bastille.
Le Bastille.
Just that fight was very indicative of a...
Very indicative.
Sure, why not? Why
I
not?
expected myself to make that joke, not you. Be better.
You're better
Just
than
be
that.
better.
Sometimes you just gotta rise to what we'll call the lowest common denominator.
You gotta rise. All right, I get it. No, just it was the methodical nature of two very tired people having a very deep and necessary discussion about their relationship, their marriage, and where they move forward. I thought was a very honest scene, very well measured scene, and well acted. With the exception of
That beard?
of Jim Bone's beard. That's right.
Yeah, man, I
call
told you
him
that
Jim
beard.
Bone.
That beard looks like shit. It
It's,
is so upsetting because I am certain he can grow a better beard than that, and I just know that they had to do it because
never
they
know.
couldn't let him grow one.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that's the third worst thing in season 2. 1, Virgin Mary falling off the table
Yes,
twice.
number 1.
Oh,
2,
true that.
sun rising over dick rocks.
Fuck
Oh,
that.
And
that's
3,
number 1.
beard.
I think that's number 1.
No, the Virgin Mary falling is
Oh,
worse.
Twice,
man,
because
the
it
sun rising
happens
over the
twice.
dick rocks.
But the Virgin
Okay,
Mary
all
happens
right,
twice
all
in
right,
the same
fair,
episode.
fair.
And number 3, stupid beard.
Yeah.
Shitty
Also,
pube
this
beard.
just reminded me of a point I wanted to make. Neal, like you, I occasionally have a little issue with the voiceover. It's a little bit ooky spooky. But to me, it is all worth it for one line. I closed my eyes and thought of England.
2 bumps!
That's the hardest I've laughed at anything in Outlander at all. Anyway, we're gonna nothing else to say about France.
I think I'm cool in Paris.
Cool. We're gonna take a quick break and we'll be
Yes.
back. This is obviously a longer episode because it's Dudelander. It's a special fucking event.
Cha-ching.
But they've got to finish these 40s of OE
I'm
and
almost
then
done,
and
yo.
then pee. I'm assuming mostly chemicals, and then we'll be back.
Hit it.
So, quick programming note. We've realized that we're out of beer and we have a lot left to say. So, from all of the people here at the Dudelander episode of the Podlander Drunkcast and Outlander podcast, we've decided this is part 1. Part 1 of Dudelander, which Kevin just called Tudelander. Apparently, they want to do a little musical number, but we're going to be back next week with the second half of season 2, talking to these 2 fine almost gentlemen. Come see Wizard World. We'll be back in what for us is 15 minutes and what for you is a week, and we're going to leave you on this musical note.
Sing me a song of a lass that is gone.
All right, cut.